Alright, so in this video, I just want to make it clear to begin with that this isn't a video made for content or entertainment purposes, but strictly for the sole purpose of improvement and teaching. It won't be edited in any entertaining way. It's going to be for people who are looking to improve, and it's going to be directly related to competitive and how you can apply these things in real time. So I want to start this off with this is a clip of me going against Timko in a 1v1 PG, and this is something that I saw him do actually that I've sort of translated into my game now, and I'll tell you how I practice it after, but basically to begin with, you could see how he has this piece on me, and it seems very obvious, but you look at his movement here, he edits here, and he gets this wall because you have to go forward to get this wall and come in this area, but he doesn't immediately edit it like a lot of people would do a 4 tile or a 3 tile here and try to do a full piece, or like a window even. This window wouldn't be bad, but doing this and then using this wall as a right hand. So he does this. If I can just try to pause it faster. He swings behind this and then he sort of uses this window right here. I can just pull my pen. Can't pull my pen out for some reason. That's fine, but this area right here, he's using this wall as a right hand peak. So it's very interesting because when a lot of scenarios you'll see people will do, like I said, an open edit, but you're creating a right hand peak not only using this wall, but he's understanding that the other pieces around him can also be utilized just to create a right hand peak. So how can you play this in real time? So let's say I have this spot right here. Let's say your box diagonally to get a standard, aggressive position in the box. When you have this, a lot of people will be like, okay, well, you have this wall, what's the best edit? You could do any of these, but that's bad, right? They can see you. Obviously, the squat doesn't have the peak practice mechanic, but you could also hop over here, try to do like a window play. But again, all of these give opportunities for your opponent to sort of immediately come into your view and jump, right? So, and if they're standing on the front half of this, stare there, it's kind of messed up. So, what you can do is like this, where it lets you piece them up like this from an angle that they can't see. Because from there, you cannot see this character given how it's hugging this wall. If you're like this, you're visible. But if you're like this, you're not. Then you can crouch and then uncrouch. That's the kind of stuff that's going to help you create that fluid mechanic. Another option you can do when you're aggressive box fighting, take the wall. I like to do this. It's a very easy sort of thing to do as long as you practice your cross replacement, and it's not that hard to remember because it's a simple peanut butter peak, and then you can combine it with a lot of things. You do this, which is the most tight line, but it allows you to sort of trade with your opponent as well, because if they're sitting back there, your opponent is right here and they're crouched, they can get a shot off on you, but they have to be very visible. For them to actually get a shot off on you there, they have to expose themselves to an area, which, if they're standing right there, like it shows, you can just punch like that and shoot them. So, in this edit, you can also do something like, I like this idea as well. Just make anywhere on that side, it sort of creates an area where they can't, shoot you because of this area. Because you're standing here, you can't see that area. So over here on this perspective, you can just, or even better, right? You can use this. I don't want to actually say this. You can just do this and then uncrouch and shoot. And you have a lot of options. You can also do a double right hand. It's harder to use, but yeah. And obviously, you can just do this, create an opening for yourself. It doesn't give you a double right hand protection, but you have a single one. And then, I really like using either this, if you're standing on this edge right here. And then I like to sort of it's probably better actually to do it on this wall, so you're hugging the wall. So the issue with that is you're comparing doing this wall versus doing it from here. When you're doing it from here, when you swing and shoot, you actually have to flick your mouse all the way through the reset. Obviously, you can sometimes do it like this. Be like at least right there. Okay, so see how that threshold is like around that area, and you just flick your mouse a lot. Whereas if you're doing this, you know, this, or whatever it was, doing this, you can just easily flick, and it's very easy. You can move your mouse less because you're not close to the wall. So that's another thing that is really useful. And then the way you practice it is just going to any sort of training map and, you know, do the piece control tunnels. And when you're doing it, just a piece like that. It's like very easy. Obviously, the build grid's kind of messed up here, so I'll just go down. And like, I do this, just swing left. You gotta create that like muscle memory where you swing right to build, immediately swing back left, use this cover. And when you build that habit, not only does it become habitual for you to use this, but it also becomes habitual to use sort of any kind of structure you can find as a right-hand peak. So literally anywhere you are, you can try to find a right-hand peak. For example, this very common top floor edit. So say I press block 2 and I have this thing open, right? When you do this one, right, the issue with this is you're giving them a right-hand peak. Yes, you have the peeker's advantage from the top, but this, they could shoot you, you could be standing there, and you actually have this right here, this line actually becomes a right-hand peak for you. Something that a lot of people miss when doing this. Because here, it's a left hand. Think about it as like a wall, where you're moving it to the left to shoot them. So that's an issue, whereas this simple change, you have right hand all of a sudden, especially if you use this. A lot of people will limit themselves to this area right here. If you go here, I noticed this just today alone in playing, you can just, if they're like at the bottom and they try to do a peek on you, you can just back up a bit like this instead of standing here. You back up a bit so you're completely invisible, and boom. It makes it super easy to counter right hands. And something I saw a player do as well is like this. You have this one, you do this, like, sort of like jump off, edit, and then shoot. And it becomes very effective as well. So there's just some sort of tips in general. Another thing I would like to say is, like, let's say that this is an enemy wall, right? You land here with the cone, you do edit, and then you just reset the cone. Now you're in a situation just like what I said before over there. You're in peanut butter like this, like that. Boom, you have piece control. And it was very easy for you to sort of, you know, do any play you want here, whatever you want. Like I would do that, probably. I think it's a great shot. And the reason I say use peanut butter and not a window on these like pieces is because over here, if you're using a window, right, like obviously you're standing like this, like to the side as much as possible to get this piece here, because if you stand here, it's kind of like really hard to get this. You stand here, like to do the edit, because then you can sometimes grab this edit right here. That's the only reason, so you usually stand here. Like when you're standing in this area, it's very easy to see yourself in here. Like it's more of a it's like an easier shot for the opponent, honestly, because the window just gives them an area to immediately aim for, and obviously they have some general situational awareness and spatial awareness, so they're gonna be able to tell you're there. So that is why you don't do a window, because when you have this right hand, you actually have a place where you can like sort of see, you can see a lot happening, see a lot more first of all. Second of all, you can swing and use motion to your advantage to get peeker's advantage to a desync, because you do this, and you have it in a cover. If you realize something's about to happen, if the opponent runs at you or something, you can like back up or something like this, right? You can back up during the box, you like back up like with a simple, right? And then like the biggest thing is like in the window, they can pump you and then you reset it and you're already weak because they're hitting a headshot most likely if they're half decent, and then they can just spray you, especially with this meta with Stinger SMG meta at the moment. You're having that issue. So utilizing these like differences, these small differences, they appear small, but they're actually huge in game, right? It's like the difference between using a simple this thing right here on this aggressive thing versus using a window when you're doing a little piece. I noticed a player I was racing today, they greeted long piece by doing the window, and it's just like I'm standing all the way over here. I'm not even, the long piece isn't even a threat. I'm already almost walking out of the box, and they can't reach a wall from all the way back there. And so I'm just sitting here, and they edit it, and I could just take my sweet, sweet time and just, and it's no risk for me. Because they have the build out to like piece me up and stuff. Because, you know, pre-piece, unless you're like really zero paying and or you have very perfect crosshair placement, it becomes a little messy, right? When you're doing, no, sorry, not pre-piece, but long piece, because you have to like shake your mouse around a lot. So yeah, and like a very common thing that people forget is making sure you're hugging the wall a lot. When you're hugging the wall like this, it makes the biggest difference from doing this. A lot of people progress boxes like this. That's wrong. Now, you can start the original like this, but as soon as you do your first finish, you start swinging here if you see any signs of editing, unless they're just holding the builder gun out. But if they're gun out, you probably should swing to the left, because that gives you the peak, and if they try to pre-fire you, it won't work. Because when you have this, you have no risk. And the best part is, if they hold the wall here and you look at it, you can actually outdance. You have peak. It's like, let's say I'm somewhere here, I could probably see someone like there, at least when they jump, I know 100% I can get a headshot pump on them, right? Here on the other hand, if someone's standing back right here in the box, where they can see your headshot, I could be right here, jump, and I'm not seeing them really. Like, it's, if I do, it's like my pump's lining up with a wall, or shooting the wall. So, understanding that this, when you're in this situation where like you have a peanut butter here, or your opponent does, and you're on this side, you always have the peak. It can even be from above, right? It could be the same thing. With this, you always have the peak. You will have a better peak than your opponent down here. And if you're this person, if you're here in this position, I would advise to just reset and make more space. And what I told peeps earlier was that when your vertical player is decent and you're aggressive with smart angles, you just have to keep making space until they mess up. And when they mess up, I mean, let's say you build this way, right? You build opposite, so they have to like go all the way here. As they're swinging down, and they do this. As soon as they're like sliding down here, you can just insta edit pump them, and you just smart peek like this. Because when you're sliding, they can see your feet. So you can just do this. And sort of get their toes. And there's many different scenarios where they're gonna mess up. It changes between your opponents, but that's sort of the basic principle: is you reposition and play defensively until your opponent slips up, you catch them on a mistake, and then you can switch to aggressing on them. So yeah, that's just some basic peaks and, you know, sort of box fight tips. But I'll make another one later on.